Hey guys, it's Weep Union. In this video, I'm going to talk about how the Ukrainian army will likely attempt to attack Kherson and how the Russians will defend it. Now, if we look at the defensive lines I've drawn, these are most likely the most heavily defended Russian defensive lines. Doesn't necessarily reflect the front line. These defenses are based on the geography and the topography. Now, most of this land is completely flat, which makes it prime area for artillery and heavy mobile weapons as tanks, armored personnel carriers, and infantry fighting vehicles. Now, as we know, Russia has most of these, but if the Ukrainians focus most of what they have left in the Kherson region, they may be able to compare to what the Russians have. Now, if we look at the areas where I've drawn defensive lines, there's the river here in the middle, which is actually wide enough to be difficult to cross, especially with the Russian artillery supremacy. So it is unlikely that the Ukrainians will try to cross this river, which is why I've drawn a Russian line on the other side of it, as there will be one to make sure that the Ukrainians don't take this river, which will be detrimental to Russian supply lines. But also the Russians can place artillery on the eastern side of the river to shoot on the advancing Ukrainian forces. Now then there's also these two valleys, which is why I've drawn the Russian army on either side of it. The right side, or the left valley, the right side of the left valley is where the Russians would be on the right side to shoot Ukrainians trying to cross the valley, and opposite where in the right valley, the left side Russians will be trying to attack the Ukrainians from the other side of the valley. That is because the most likely route of advance for the Ukrainians will be here up north, as they will want to avoid crossing any of the valleys. So they will likely push all the way up to the valley, but then focus all their power on the north side. Now, if they defend the left valley of the two valleys, they'll be able to hold back the Ukrainians from advancing further than the valley. And then by holding the right valley, they'll be able to attack the Ukrainians advancing from down here. Now, if they hold the valley, the Ukrainians' only fallback line would be to go straight back, which will allow the Russians to encircle them if they advance too far. Which is why it is a very risky form of advancement for the Ukrainians. This is why the Ukrainians are forced to take the whole northern region or northeastern region of the Kherson area all the way up to the river line before they can advance down here, as it will prevent the Russians from using too much artillery. While the river is wide, it is not wide enough for the Russians to not be able to use artillery from the other side of the riverbank. This way, Russia will always have superior firepower, as they can reach all the Ukrainian advanced, all the advanced Russian Ukrainian soldiers, as the Russian artillery has a far range of about 15 kilometers. With this, as well as the multi-launch rocket systems, they will be able to attack the Ukrainian supply lines as well as ammo depots. While the Ukrainians have disabled most of the bridges crossing the Dnieper River, they do not have the ability to completely seal off supplies, as there are boats that Russia can use to cross the river, as there are docks both within either side of the Kherson region Dnieper River. So, in conclusion, Ukraine has to take all of the northern bank of the Dnieper River before they can advance on Kherson, and Kherson will always be supplied, because even if they break all the bridges, there are still boats to supply ammunition and so on with. And at the same time, they can use artillery and rocket systems on the other side of the Dnieper River, which is relatively safe in combat. And while most of the Kherson region is utterly flat, there are valleys and a river next to the city of Kherson, which allows for proper defenses. So Ukraine taking this city is very difficult, even if they are well trained and well equipped. But with the losses they have suffered so far, it's almost impossible. Now that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. Remember to subscribe and leave a like. Have a great day.